I'm Mary Ann Niehaus. I'm a 2-star here at Longevity, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be here today. I have some amazing people I'm going to introduce to you. They're going to come up on stage here in just a few minutes. And actually, one of them is just a dear friend, such a blessing, a huge mentor of mine. She has meant the world to me over the last several years, and I can remember her and I sitting in a meeting and just listening to mentors and taking notes. We always take copious notes. And she's got a great journal. If you guys ever want to get under her skin, grab that journal, and she will chase you down. But what that means to me is just how honored she is and how proud she is about what she does here at Longevity and in network marketing. And I want to introduce to you one of my dearest friends, Denice. Yeah.
My own mic.
I know, isn't that great?
So cool.
I have to put mine back.
Good morning, everybody.
But I'm going to leave you, but
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Well, too bad I just don't sing. How are you guys? Thank you for braving the snow. I don't know where you came from, but at least around here we have very little snow, but I heard down south we have a lot. Oh, thanks, Chad. I don't know quite what you were doing. So we have this new compensation plan, opportunity plan that we're going to go through today, and I think that we're very close to having it complete, but it's great because I think it's simple, and the point is for everybody to be able to do this in your own way. And so if you were on the Zoom the other night, you saw Scott Fardulis and Juliet and Dr. Louis Ariaza present that, and they did a great job. So I'll probably try and get through this a little bit faster so we can get on with our Super Saturday, but here it is. So, entrepreneurship is on the rise, and part of the reason is that most people cannot make a living with their regular job, and so you see a lot of people out there trying to piece together an existence, and you see that with people doing Uber on the side, you know, selling on eBay, things like that, and they're just trying to be able to crack their monthly nut every month. And what we see is, here it is February, and we see a lot of people, January is a really great time for people to go, hey, what am I going to do differently this year as opposed to last year? What's going to be, how am I going to make a better living? And so we see a lot of people looking at different streams of income. And with entrepreneurship, you want to look at 5 different areas, and especially in network marketing. You want to look at the company, you want to look at the products, you want to look at the pay plan, the training, the support, and also the timing that you're getting into the particular company. And people every day are looking at, they're looking for you, really. They're looking for mentorship, they're looking for guidance, and we often say that people don't actually pick a company, they pick you, you know. So Longevity, our company, is based in Chula Vista, California. It's been in business for over 21 years. And we own our building. It's huge, as you can see. They do all the shipping out of there. And we are not only in California, but we're also an international company as well. And you can see from the map that we're also in Canada, we're in Mexico, we're in Colombia, we're a little bit in Europe, we're in Russia, and then also in Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, Indonesia, Australia, and in New Zealand. And Tom and I have had the opportunity to travel to a lot of these countries and speak to our different groups. And what I see when I travel is that people really are all the same. We're all looking for the same thing. We want to be able to support our families, do well by doing good. And so the good thing about longevity, even though we're based really here in California, you can build a business all over the world. So our corporate leadership is really outstanding, and we wouldn't be here without, Tom and I wouldn't be here without Michelle Wallach and Steve Wallach. They are the founders of the company, along with Dr. Joel Wallach and Dr. Malwan. And Steve and Michelle are the CEO and COO, and what we know about them over the 21 years that we've been with them is that what they stand for is integrity, and they love our profession of network marketing. And they've also been in the field themselves, which I think is really important, because you get a lot of companies out there that they might be publicly held, but the board they've never pounded the pavement like we have. And so when you look at Steve and Michelle, they have done what we're doing. And I think that's really important. They know the struggles that we go through, and they're so incredibly supportive. And then on the right, you'll see Sunshine, Sunshine Brisky, and you can tell by her smile that that's her nickname. And Dave Brisky, who is our president and CFO. And what I love about them is Sunshine is a huge advocate of our Be the Change Foundation, which is every single month we're able to support different nonprofit entities, and every big event that Longevity puts on, we actually do a Be the Change fundraiser. And so we not only, say that we're for the better good, but we're actually out there doing it. And you can see behind Sunshine and Dave that we're actually a publicly traded company. Our ticker symbol is YGYI. And so everything is public, which I also think is a really important piece as well. There we go. And this was when we were opened up NASDAQ on the left, and it was a very exciting day. And you can see Dr. Wallach in the middle there, and surrounded by Steve and Michelle, and some of the key people in our company. Scott and Juliet are on the left there, and Dr. Lewis and Evelia are on the right. So this is one of my favorite slides, because Dr. Wallach is what really drove Tom and I to decide to join Longevity. Dr. Wallach's background, he's been a veterinarian for over 40 years, and his background is in biomedical research. And what he did was, 40 years ago, back in the 60s and 70s, he worked for Marlin Perkins, Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom, and he was on Operation Rhino, where there was a big, rhinos were disappearing, and they weren't quite sure why. They thought that maybe it was related to pollution, and so he went down to study that. And in addition, what he really got interested in is how nutrients or lack of nutrients have affected animals. And so one of the big things that he discovered was the first case of cystic fibrosis in rhesus monkeys. And what he realized was that, because cystic fibrosis was only found in people up to that point, and they thought that it was genetic. And so what he found out is that the cystic fibrosis in rhesus monkeys was actually a selenium deficiency. And so that was a huge find. And then after that, he did a lot more research. One of the books that is in the Smithsonian is Diseases of Exotic Animals, and zoos all over the world still use that book. So his basis was his veterinary research. After that, in I think it was 84, don't quote me, but somewhere around there, he became a naturopath doctor. And he really started applying that research to people. And the joke was that if you go see Dr. Wallach, he'll treat you like a dog, but you'll get better. And again, he found that a lot of the times when people were suffering from different diseases, it was actually a lack of nutrients, and most importantly, minerals. And so he discovered that we need 90 essential nutrients. And so he became what everybody called the grandfather of colloidal minerals. So to this day, at 78 years old, Dr. Wallach is still traveling, doing free lectures all over the country, 300 days a year. And as you can see, he's written many, many books. He has peer-reviewed books as well. And of course, the famous Dead Doctors Don't Lie, which, back in the day, we were passing out as cassette tapes. It later became a book and now CD, and now CDs are gone, and now we just stream it on the internet, right? But the other very incredible tool that we have now is this movie, The Audacity of Health, which is such an amazing biography of this man and his research. And Dr. Wallach is an absolute treasure to longevity, and that's really why we're here. So based on Dr. Wallach's research, we found that every human being needs 90 essential nutrients. And so the starship of our company is this Healthy Start Pack. And in those 3 products, the Tangy Tangerine, the EFA Plus, and the OsteoFX, you'll find that it has 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 fatty acids. And that comprises the Healthy Start Pack. So the Tangy Tangerine, what's cool about the Tangy Tangerine is a lot of people go, oh, I take my vitamins. And you go, well, that's great. I'm glad that you're doing something for your body. However, when you let them know that actually the vitamins need minerals as cofactors to be able to work in your body, that they may be taking the vitamins and they may be not getting any effect whatsoever because they're not getting the most important part, which is the micronutrients of the minerals. And so vitamins need minerals as cofactors. That is what you get in the Tangy Tangerine. It gives you, there's no caffeine in it, but it gives you that energy boost. Because it is a liquid product, it sort of is able to, for people that are suffering from gut issues, it sort of surpasses the digestion, is the word, digestion, and is able to just be absorbed straight into your cells. And so, especially for people, for the very ill, the weak, older customers, it's really important to be able to swallow the nutrients, to drink your nutrients and bypass the digestion. The OsteoFX, when people have a lack of calcium, it can show up as over 200 different deficiencies. That is crazy. A lot of people think, oh, it's just osteoporosis, but it is a whole slew of things that happen to your body when you don't have enough calcium. And so with that OsteoFX on the top right, you'll see it has calcium, the magnesium, and the vitamin D3, which everybody knows, even though we live in usually beautiful, sunny Colorado. Most people wear sunscreen now, and we're all lacking in vitamin D, so that's also very important. And then the EFA Plus, which is your omega-3 and 6, and I take a lot of those every single day because I run very dry, and I have drier skin, and so I can tell when I am not taking enough EFAs, then I need to up my quantity. People with asthma, respiratory issues, EFAs tend to lubricate, and so they're really good for people that suffer from respiratory issues as well. Now, I forgot one little part, Tom, before you come up. One of the reasons why I looked at longevity 27 years ago was that about 25 years ago, I was a single mom, and I had a beautiful 2-year-old son, and I was newly divorced, and I didn't have any other financial support other than what I brought in. And so I was selling hair care products at the time for a distributor, and it was 100% commission-based. I'd never done anything like that, and it was a really great job for me because I was able to control my schedule to a certain extent. However, every single month I had more bills than I had money coming in. And so at a certain point, I had a nice little townhome in Boulder, Colorado, which that got paid for right off the bat. So I paid for my condo because I needed a roof over my head. The other thing that was really important for me is that I loved the school that my son attended. And so that was the second bill that I paid for. And then everything else was gravy in my mind. And so I didn't have cable TV. I had gotten my car repossessed. I remember calling up my dad and saying, what do I do? And he goes, well, ask him if you can come down and get a check. And I asked the repo man, and he was very kind, actually. And I said, my dad said he'll give me the money. And he said, I'm sorry, man. You know, and so loaded up the Honda, and there it goes. And for me, at that time, an extra $200 a month would have been absolutely life-saving. And so I was looking at how can I make a little bit of money, right? Because $200 would have saved my car. An extra $500, oh, that would have been life-saving. And so when I started hearing about network marketing, and when I was able to see what this profession could do for me, I thought I could really not only make a difference for myself, but I could actually make a difference in my community as well. And so that's what led me to network marketing and to longevity. And so from that, my passion now is being able to help other women and young moms be able to support themselves and be able to contribute financially to their family and to be able to make whatever it is that they want to make, an extra $200 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month. And so for Tom and I, our real goal is to create at least 1 million thousandaires, because I know that $1,000 a month for every household can really be able to, you start to be able to change the fabric of your community. So Tom is now going to come up and show you how to get started in longevity and the right way to start to build your business.
I am.
There you go, Tom.
Tremendous job. I could just marry you. How are you, Denise? Before you go, how do I this? Okay, good. All right, I'm Tom Chenault. Nice to see everybody. How we doing? I don't like being up here. This is not good. We're moving me down now. Okay, so Denise talked about having no money, being dead broke, being a single mom. And you know what? I don't think everybody out there that's watching this presentation are millionaires. I think they're all more like Denise was than like Denise is. So the key to this whole thing is how do we get people, every one of you and every one of your people, to where Denise is from where Denise was. And I'm not saying you were that broke, but I'm telling you what, a lot of people were. When I got in this business, I had to work for 2 years just to get to broke. I was so far north of, it was horrible. And here I am, you know, today, the same kind of story. But I just want you to know that there's not one person in this room and not one person watching that can't grab the bull by the horns and change their destiny. I want you to have the ability to change your destiny. These slides that are behind me, they're slides. They're slides. And I don't want you to turn into a robot. I don't want you to memorize them. That isn't what this is all about. So a lot of people watching on the stream are going, I can't see the slides, and I just want to comment, good. Because we'll get you the slides. But the information is not what this is all about. This is not about head knowledge. This is about heart knowledge. This is a professional presentation from your living room for human beings. We're not talking to Fortune 500 companies. We're not sitting in the boardroom at Microsoft. We're not over at Apple Computer. We are a bunch of human beings trying to figure out how to have a better life. Maybe around, just the bill of goods that we got sold just isn't there anymore. The 401ks, all the stuff. Unfortunately, I used to kind of worry about the senior citizens. I acted like I cared about it. I was like, so Sean. And now,
I'm so sorry.
that's better than when we started. She goes, no, and Joanne saw me in her handbag. She goes, would you just go eat like that whole bag of breath mints, Tom? That's a great start to this. That's just really got me warmed up for this speech. But you know what? That's kind of what this is. I am not all hip, slick, and cool, and you don't have to be either. I want you to lose the hip, slick, and cool. I want you to learn the presentation and learn those slides behind you as a point of reference for everybody, but I want you to know that you are talking to human beings from your heart, not your head. They can go get any information whatsoever. I know you're not going to believe a thing on those slides anyway. And the minute you leave, you're going to go look up the slides, and then you're going to Google all the information on it. Because that's what we do today. We have to have backup information. So rather than give you any information, I'm just going to tell you stories, and we're just going to have fun. And I am completely and 100% Google proof. How's that right? So that's what's going to happen. So this CEO pack for $499. All of you, everybody watching, $499. I can get into longevity for $20. I can get into longevity and go buy my product. I can go buy a CEO pack, for $200. Why is Tom wanting me to do that? I'm wanting you to do that for you, not for me. I'm doing that for you. I want you to have this CEO pack so you get the CEO training. I want you to have the CEO pack so you get the ability to catch all the commissions in the comp plan, not just the ones that you get when you put up $25 or something like that. In other words, you're buying a business for $500. A business for $500 is already impossible. Nobody can buy a business for $500. Businesses cost thousands of dollars. You can't even get the lawyers to write up the paperwork for a business for $500, much less get the business. So here we go. Is that fair? Yeah. So those are all that's all the packs. So the packs are pretty cool. We got different packs for everything, but you see in the middle of all those packs, one thing that's congruent, and that's the 90 for life. Because every living human on this planet needs to be taken the 90 essential nutrients. End of story. Denise went through those things by my request because I would have messed all those numbers up. The 16 minerals, the 16 this, all that, because I'm telling you what, it doesn't matter to me. I will tell you what matters to me. It makes me feel better. I'm 67 years old. I feel great. I've got a life, I've got time, and I've got money, and it's all due to this little box right here. And if you aren't living your life with this little box right here as a major required component, you're out of your mind. There was a woman here earlier that I was talking to her about her dad. And her dad, 80 years old, he was ill. But his budget would not let him buy the 90 for life. Because he was, on retirement pension and all that jazz. That makes me cry. Because we need to have everybody, especially people my age. I talked earlier about that. I think I lost my train of thought and went down another rabbit hole about senior citizens. But here's the deal. I'm now a senior citizen. I'm 67, so I'm in that club. And I'm watching all my cronies, my peers, my friends, with their gray hair, being in walkers, being on oxygen, dealing with diabetes, dealing with obesity, dealing with cancer, and it scares the crud out of me. And if I can buy this pack right here, and it's an insurance policy against that, count me in. And that's every one of you. That's your grandparents, that's you, that's your kids. Does that make sense? All right. All right, the CEO pack. I happen to be all about this right now, this hemp CEO pack. And so I want to go here. I want to go back. And anyway, the hemp CEO pack's the $500 deal. It's pretty doggone cool. So for $500, what do you get? You get this Healthy Start pack, but our hemp is incredible. There's people in this room that are building a business just on that vertical of longevity. There's all kinds of verticals of longevity. This is the one that these people are choosing, and this is the pack that they buy. And they buy it because this gets them going. They get 2 of the Uplift, which is this little box right here. They get 2 of the Relax, which is very, very, very good product. I mean, you want to try this. This stuff will help you sleep. I promise you. If you've got something going on with that, you put this stuff under your tongue, and it's unbelievable. My wife gives it to me like about 7 o'clock every night just to shut me up. I go, why do I keep falling asleep? She goes, shut up, it's a breath mint. So I don't care. Every time I try to remember whether or not I'm already asleep by the time I figure out what's going on, she's done that. And then the Soothe is the 3rd one on the line. That's just absolutely making people crazy. People want this product. Our CBD, I believe, is the banner CBD on the market today. A couple of reasons for it. Where we get it is absolutely the best source. What we put into it, along with the CBD we buy from those people to make it proprietary to Dr. Wallach, Dr. Wallach's philosophy about vitamins and minerals, is the secret sauce. So you can go down to the 7-Eleven and probably find something with CBD on the label. That doesn't mean that's what's in the bottle. And it doesn't mean it's quality, and it doesn't mean it's got the other stuff that we've got. That's why I'm in love with this. Another reason I'm in love with the hemp CEO pack is this little packet right here. What this is are the samples. So you run into somebody that's got some pain going on, they slap this stuff on their neck or their shoulder or whatever it is, and the party's over and you've got a customer. So that's what I want for you. So why are you buying the CEO pack? Because it makes business sense. You said you're coming into this business. You said you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You said you say, oh man, if there was just a way for me to make it, I would do it. Well, guess what? That's this. That's this pack right here. Our products are great, and we've got thousands of loyal customers. If you want to build a business, you're going to have to build an army. And if you're going to build an army, you have to have the tools to do it. And the tools to build that army are right here on this table. What you don't see is a little packet called the CEO training. And it is an amazing training put together by a bunch of people who have done what you are starting out to do. So you're able to walk down their track. Make sense to you? Yeah. Cool. All right, here's all kinds of other stuff. That's Denice right there. That's our car. That's actually her car. She wraps me in saran wrap when we get in it. It's unbelievable. Because she's very, very particular about everything. You know? She doesn't like, because I talk and stuff flies out of my mouth. So she's got the Windex on the windshield on the inside right in the car. It's unbelievable because she's that much of a perfectionist. But that's her car. It's a Tesla. And it's the coolest car we've ever had. It's our second one. I want you guys to have a Tesla. It is crazy never having to go to the gas station. But guess what? With our car bonuses, you don't have to buy a Tesla. Actually, that Tesla, we've got our car bonus. Full disclosure, our car bonus would not cover the payment of that Tesla. Because it only goes up to $1,000. The payment on that car is more than that. But if you make some income, you could also throw that in. So that $1,000 helps. So does that make sense? And the car bonus starts at $300 and goes up to $1,000. So up higher than that, actually. Goes up to $2,000. Someday, somebody's going to train me. Am I supposed to be looking at that camera over there? Am I looking everywhere else? This is my first rodeo, James. I'm sorry. All right, so we got all kinds of things. So here's the deal about network marketing. You want to get paid in the beginning, the middle, and the end. That's what you do. Because you want to work like crazy and get paid. A lot of comp plans, and especially in network marketing, say it's a long haul. So what they want you to do is work like crazy and not get paid for 100 years. No, Longevity's got these things called quick start and fast start bonuses that get paid next week. Second component of it, you want to make money in the middle. So what that means is that you want to be able to work like crazy, build an organization, get paid in the middle, and be, have a great life, and hopefully quit the job that you hate and all that jazz. We'll get to that in the training. And then at the end, it's me. Here I am, 67 years old. going, all my friends, I talked about my cronies and my peers, and I called them something else a minute ago that I thought was an interesting word, and I already forgot it. My cronies and peers and something, certainly not friends. But at the end of the day, guess what? Those guys are all living on fixed income. They are all stressing every day at their bills going up. And I worked really hard in longevity 20 years ago. For the last 20 years, I've worked really, really hard. But everybody's worked real hard in their job. But my retirement package would blow your mind. I want you to have my retirement package. And for you to have my retirement package, you have to do what I did to get what I got. Isn't that logical? And you're going, how am I going to do that? You're going to jump in the foxhole with all of us that are teaching you to do it with the CEO training, something called Ambassador University, and that'll do. It's a template. It's a cookie cutter. So even though it seems like Mount Everest, at least we're going to give you the gear to get up the mountain. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. All right, did I cover all that? No, but covered enough. Okay, so what? I like this line. Don't just thrive, survive. No, don't just thrive. Okay, good. All right, good. I've also got dyslexia. So that's terrible. Anorexia, dyslexia. I used to go on a diet. I just would eat like crazy because I have anorexia, dyslexia. Everything's backwards. So that's just that. And how about this deal? They put a flower right in front of me, James. Why did you put that there?
You said don't touch the decorations.
Well, yeah, because we're in a church and I am not going to move it. So we are not moving one thing. So that's simple. No way. I'm getting struck by lightning. Okay, so I'll put you $400 back up. You're $499. And the first thing that goes through your head, especially us poor people, is this. How do I get my money back? I'm not putting $500 up. That's a pyramid scheme. That's a scam. I'm not putting up $500. Oh, yes, you are. But I'm also going to teach you how to get your $500 back. And the way that you get your $500 back is you sell 5 of these packages. Does that make sense to you? 5 CEO packs get you break even. That's what we're calling thriving. So simply enrolling 5 CEOs, you're going to earn $570, every one of you. So what does that mean? You got to go buy it. You got to start taking this. You got to start using that, and you got to start giving out the samples and find 5 people to do what you did. And your business is all of a sudden break even. I don't know if any of you have ever started a small business, but show me how you can break even and start positive cash flow that easy. It just doesn't happen. Never, anywhere. And this is the way to start it right. And you hold that thought. It's called the 5 to Thrive program. There it is. So we pay you $100 on each one of the CEO packs. The math is good on that. So you sell 5 of them, you're making $500. The last 2, you're entering into something called the coding bonus. And the coding bonus pays you an additional $35 on those last 2. What's a coding bonus? We have something called a unilevel comp plan, which pays 6 levels deep, big money. Then it pays another couple of levels, smaller percentages. And then it's got infinity bonuses that go out all over the place, so you're getting paid for a long time on the work that you did on those 5 people. And it starts right there at the beginning with those 2 $35 codes. Every CEO pack has 100, I'm supposed to point this at the plan. But every one of those CEO packs has $190 in it in incentives for you to sell CEO packs. We are going to pay you an extra $190 to sell the CEO pack to people to get them started right in the business with the training and everything else, instead of just starting out with 135 here. Why did we do that? Because we want people started right. And we know the difference between just buying this and stepping all the way up to a CEO pack is a step in people's minds. So what they did was they kicked another commission in that $500 of $190 based on your rank to give you to make sure that you're selling the CEO packs. Please sell the CEO packs. Not for me again, but for you. You are doing this as a business. You've got to maximize the comp plan. And here's how you maximize the comp plan. Am I using too much multi-level marketing lingo? No? Okay, good. It's my first rodeo. Oh, look at all these clicks I have to do. Sorry about that. I don't like any of that. All right. So residual income. Everybody talks about residual income. There's a Lyft driver and an Uber driver in the room here, right now, in the back. Barely awake. Been driving all night. Breckenridge, Colorado. He's a Lyft driver and an Uber driver. He's not getting residual income. Uber and Lyft is not residual income. Probably your job at the restaurant isn't residual income. Your job you're an engineer, it's not residual income. This is residual income. This is what you guys all want. This is the oil well. This is it. This is the one you want. This isn't Bitcoin. This is it. This is the one you want. You want to build a residual income that keeps coming at you when you're not working. Here's the magic of it, and it goes exactly the same way as the 5 to Thrive program. So what does that mean? You get 5 people, you train those 5 people to find their 5 people too. So those 5 people find their 5, and all of a sudden you got 25 on that second level. Because you're 5, you're the first level. Then you got your 5, and then they find their 5. And you just keep teaching people this 5 to Thrive program. So at the end of the day, that goes down one more level. You got 125 people down there. And if they're just buying $150 worth of product a month, you're kicking out about $1,672 in commissions just off of those first 3 levels. And once you make $1,672, you got in this business. You said to your husband or you said to your wife, I'm going to take a shot at this. Your husband or your wife said, don't. You said, I'm going to do it anyway. And all of a sudden, you've driven this thing down 3 levels. And you've got $1,672 a month coming in. Your wife is going to think you're a genius. Your husband's going to think you're a genius. They're going to want their name on the check. And they're also going to say, you drove that thing down 3 levels. You proved you could do it, honey. Drive it down 1 more. And you drive that thing down 1 more level, and magic starts to happen in the comp plan. And big money starts to show up. Because just on that 4th level, if those 4 people, if those 5 people on your top line duplicate down 4 levels, and those 125 people all sign up their 5, you've got 625 people in your little army out there doing what you did. And if they do that, your check is now dancing, and you can go down 1 more level. That's all you're doing. This is just perfect cookie. This is just perfect cookie cutter training. And for those of you who don't think that this is a miracle that I'm even speaking to you, the lady in the back laughed because 2 days ago my tooth fell out. So this tooth right here, it's a retainer now. So I'm lisping and I'm still waiting. You don't have any idea. So I'm sitting here wondering if my tooth is going to go flying in your lap. I mean, so if you guys think I have a speech impediment, I do. So we might as well pull that out of the refrigerator and talk about it. Yeah, so that's what it is. My tooth fell out. It didn't actually fall out. I went to the dentist. I thought they were going to fix it, and they said, no, let's yank it. I go, no. So then they pulled my tooth. Pardon me, I'm about to start crying. And then they stuck in this other crazy deal that's kind of held in by glue and paper and stuff like that. So I'm actually telling you this story because it was bugging me that I was listening and I couldn't get my words to modulate right. And if that's stuck in my head, it's never coming out the way I'm wired. So I had to talk about it. So I hope I didn't screw up this whole presentation, but that's the way it goes. You'll have to deal with it. Anybody want to buy a used tooth? Okay, we're also going to give you that car bonus. It goes up to $2,000 a month. That's a lot. We're going to pay you all kinds of bonuses. We want you to maximize this comp plan. At your job, they are sitting there feared to death. Your boss is scared to death that you're going to ask for a raise. Scared to death. And if you walk into your boss and say, I want a big raise, he's going to say, I don't even make that much. You know what you said when you come, some people come to me and say, I want to make $20,000 a month in longevity. I go, good on you, let's go. It's going to take everything you got, it's going to rip your face off, and you're going to want to die. But let's go. And the reason is because if you make $20,000 a month, I win too. I am not your boss. who knows that you can't get that out of the, they just can't afford you to pay you that way in traditional business. This is the greatest business in the world once you get it rolling. And what you have to do is lose your skepticism. You've got to lose your resignation. You've got to lose all of that stuff that you've almost been born to do. Because everybody said money doesn't grow on trees. What do you think we are, made of money? All those stories, those guys are out to take advantage of you. Lose all that. This is the purest form of capitalism left on the planet, this profession. You've got to embrace it. I'm begging you. I am living proof that somebody with a penny to his name has done good, just because I refuse to believe I couldn't. You have to believe that you can. You have to refuse to let those people hold you down. You have to fire those people in your life. That's that simple. Well, good. Thank you very much. The guy in the second row is very smart. When you succeed, we succeed. So what does that mean? That means we're not going to step on your head to get to the top. That's what that means. You succeed, we succeed. You fail, we fail. It's that simple. So what does that really mean? You've got to have a simple system. That's why I'm really coming across like a simpleton, because I want you guys to understand that anybody can do this. And I have been sitting here, and I'll tell you how smart I am. I thought the guy over on the right, Glenn, was dozing off because he wasn't having eye contact with me. And I was kind of going, what does he keep looking at? So I looked over there, and there's another slide over there too. So see, I told you, if it's in my head, it comes out of my mouth. Because you got to say it. So that is so funny, Glenn. So I had all kinds of mean thoughts about you. Okay, so you're going to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. That's a biggie. We're taking you with us. We want you to succeed. We're going to teach you step by step exactly how to do it. But you know what? You're going to drift you're going to drift out. Here's the center line. Here's how I did it. Here's how Lewis did it. Here's how Denice did it. Here's how Juliet did it. Do it. Here's how we do it. And you know what? We do it that way. Now you're going to get in this thing and you say, oh no, I got another little way that's a lot better than your way, Tom. And you're going to go out there, and you're going to be, it's like the covered wagon. You're going to be out there, and there's the covered wagon, and we all circle in, and we're all sitting in there, and we're all worried about the Indians over the hill, and all of a sudden we send one guy out. I'm going to go out there, and he goes out there, and he goes over the hill, and he comes back with a bunch of arrows in him, and he goes, I don't think I'm going to go back there anymore. And the rest of us that are in the circle, we're all going, us either. And that's kind of like this, stay in the circle. Let us keep you warm. You don't have to go out there and get shot by a bunch of arrows. We've got this. We know how to do this. We're going to help you with it. That makes sense? Did to me. Okay, this is just a bunch of people who have done well. You know, they were just like you and I. I can tell you a story about every one of those people, except Corey Gold. He was a dentist. Yeah, everybody else came from nowhere. Corey Gold was a dentist, and he decided, and he had the worst job in the world. He's probably got the best story. The guy second in, he was a dentist, and I don't know why I'm laughing, and the earthquake knocked his whole practice down in California, just wiped out his whole business. So then a bunch of other stuff like that happened, and he decided to leave dentistry and do this, but he, I can tell you, he was a pretty smart guy. But the rest of us, I mean, we're just, trained to write stone well. That's us, that's you. That's you. Every one of you have a shot to have an unbelievable life. This is just pictures of people that did it. So now's the time. You can't believe what's going on in health and wellness. Who trusts their doctors? Who trusts what's going on in the hospital system? Who trusts any of that? The market's gigantic for you. It's growing like crazy because people keep going to the doctor and getting sicker. No way. The NFL, take a look at multi-level marketing. My gosh, if you could just see that slide, you would see that it was 167. I also covered the slide with a whiteboard for those at home. So we put this. That has to be our fault, James. Okay, so anyway, the bottom slide says the next network marketing is $167 billion. National Football League is only $9.5 billion. It is gigantic. This is gigantic. And it's getting bigger all over the world. Now, most of you say you would love to travel the world. Most of you say that. Denise and I travel all the time. And you know, and we go to Russia, we go to Argentina, we go to all these, Malaysia, we went to the Formula One race. And do you know what my jealous, resentful friends say when I get home from going to the Formula One race in Singapore, staying at the hotel of the crazy rich Asians? Well, don't you just hate traveling all the time? Doesn't that make you tired, huh? No, I live like the Beatles and I kind of like traveling. You told me if I were to interview you, that's what you'd say you want to do with your life, but you're trying to find something wrong with what I do. No. Oh, you seem to work all the time, Tom. Oh, really? How does it look like I'm working? Well, you're always on the phone. I know, that's so much worse than digging ditches. It's unbelievable. I was a ditch digger. No, this is better. If that's work, I'll take that. Does that make sense to you? Pick your heart, for goodness sake. This is everybody. Look at people. They are so sad. They got health problems. They're like ready to die. They got the credit card debt that is over the moon. They can't find $400 for an emergency. You know another thing, when my tooth fell out, did I mention it? That whole deal was a bad deal. Walked out of the dentist, she goes, that'll be $1,200. Went over, got the tooth pulled, that'll be $2,700. Got back to the guy, got the tooth put in, that was another $500. I don't even know what the math is, but that's what that day was. How many people can really afford that with only a $400 fund? And to make it even worse, I went to Starbucks, I took the pain pill, I had the 2 antibiotics, they told me to put it in yogurt, I did all of that, I walked out to my car, I jumped in it, I threw it in reverse, and ran into about a 90-year-old woman, and dented her car, and I even have to spend another $2,000 to fix her car. All in one morning? That can affect a budget? So, I don't even want to talk about college graduates and where they're working. I mean, you know it as well as I do, because most of us did, Our kids, I want to go to an Ivy League school. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, I do. What do you want to major in? Art. No. You can't tell your kids no, so they go to college for $100,000 a year and major in art. Get out of school. They go, I don't think I want to do art, Dad. What do you want to do? Logging. So it's crazy. It's unbelievable. So yeah, that's just expensive and not very well positive college educations. In fact, I work with a guy named Rick who is a PhD from MIT, has had a tremendous life. And he had a big party a couple of days ago at age 37 because he finally paid off his college loans. And that's a guy working in the field. It's crazy. Nobody's getting that stuff done. Okay. And it's crazy. People between 39 and 54 want more balance between work and life. And people between 18 and 39 don't even want to work. So it's unbelievable. So all you kids, that was just a feeble attempt at humor. So at the end of the day, yeah, we do. We know those kids are smart enough to realize there's a better way than working in a cubicle and just sweating it up. They know they can do the gig stuff. But the gig stuff is like the Uber drivers and the Lyft drivers. There's no potential for the gig stuff. You're just driving and wearing out a car. We want them to do a gig called network marketing, called building income right now, called building a really big residual income at the end of it. And that is the true gig economy. That's going to set those kids free for life. So that was such an important point. Even the whiteboard faded. This is it. Look at how many people at age 73 are working over at Walmart and all those places. It's insanity. They're getting worse. Incredible. And most of those people, I believe, between 55 and 73, I have noticed, are flight attendants. It's unbelievable. You go to it's unbelievable. I spend half my time when I'm getting on the airplane helping people put their luggage up because the flight attendants can't. Because, it's great. I'm glad I'm glad they got that. All right, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I don't know if you guys have read that book. If you haven't read that book, everybody read it. You got to get out of the rat race. You got to get out of that employee mentality. All you're doing is they're just hiring you at retail, at wholesale and selling you at retail. It's crazy. I want you out of there. I want you, if you go buy a business, it's even worse because you pay yourself last. Anybody that owns a small business will tell you it is a nightmare. You don't want to do that. You think you do the franchises, the whole thing, until you buy the Dairy Queen thing and the refrigerator breaks and you don't get paid for 6 months. It is the franchise. I mean, it's hard work. You don't want to go buy a job. You want to do something where you're out of that quadrant and you're over here. You're leveraging people. You're letting your money work for you. In other words, you want to have a life where you're generating, they talk about your credit cards, and it's geometric progression that kills you there. Because what happens with your credit cards is you buy the hamburger, and the biggest credit card swipe out there is McDonald's. So people are financing hamburgers. And what's sick about that is the way geometric progression works is that hamburger at the end of the day, if you don't pay off that credit card, that little $3 hamburger is costing you a lot more than $3. And the way that you wanted to think about network marketing is using geometric progression to your advantage. It's the same thing. You take 5 people, you turn them into 25, you turn them into 125, you turn them into 6,000 to 300, you turn them into whatever all that math multiplies out to. You turn them to 125, get their 5, it goes to 625. And then those 625 people get their 5, it turns to 3,000 people. That 3,000 people get their 5, it turns to 15,000 people. That is true geometric progression. That is compounding people instead of compounding interest against you. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Promise?
Yes.
Okay, good. I think that was pretty good. Actually, that made sense to me. Outstanding. Outstanding. That means that's code for get to the next slide. So you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. How's your life look? If it's going great, don't do a thing. If you're healthy as a horse, you still should take that. Even if you're healthy as a horse, take that.
Uh-oh. What you do?
I don't use slides. Slides are a talk track for me. I prefer the slides just confuse me.
Use the microphone.
Oh. So anyway, this is such a great day. Can you imagine how successful I am? Does it make you crazy? And then what you're all saying right now is I could do that. That's what you're saying. If he can do it, I can. I've done my job. Okay, so where was I?
All right, sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so especially James. Okay, so this isn't even backwards. They say the same thing almost in the same stuff. Yeah, this is what's backwards. Okay, everybody's got to be on this. Everybody. I don't care who you are. We want you on this. I love this stuff so much. I even have my mother-in-law on it. So that's what you want. And you've got to act, though, you guys. What you have, if it's going great, it's going great. But if you want to take it one more step, what's $500? Think about it. What's it really represent? Pretty much nothing. You can buy $500. And that buys you a chance to jump in the foxhole with each and every one of us. You can't miss. Every one of you can jump in the foxhole with us. And what happens then? We walk with you. We don't walk on you. We go with you where you said you wanted to go. And the beautiful thing about it is we're not quitting. So you may want to quit on yourself sometimes, and you might even want to do that for a while. But I'm telling you, we are going to leave the light on for you. So I want to thank you for letting us be a part of your Saturday morning. And everybody have a great day. Thanks.
So, presentation.
What you learned from me was, A, you want the presentation, you want those slides, and you want to be able to build your business the way I just did that. That's what you're thinking. A lot of you are thinking that you could do it. A lot of you are thinking you can't do it. Some of you are even thinking you won't do it. And I will tell you that our job is to teach you how to present this. We're even going to practice that a little bit today, teaching you how to present it. Because believe it or not, there was a skill. You know, we brought Marianne up there who was a little bit nervous. And she introduced Denice, and we wanted her to be a little bit nervous. We didn't even warn her that she was coming up. Is there something? Okay, yeah. So Denice knew exactly how long she was going to talk and exactly what she was going to say. And me the same way. And you've got to have it. We want to train it to make you feel so natural at it. It's unbelievable. And Chad, come up here for a second. See here? Okay, he's not here. Okay. So Chad came here from San Antonio, Texas. And Chad is one of the most interesting, loudest, craziest guys I've ever met in my life. And he makes me look like he is the best. He was living down there. He had a hot dog truck. He was working construction. Come on up, Chad. And at the end, I'm glad you washed your hands. Good boy. And so he was living down there, and he was talking to a friend of his about multi-level marketing, and decided to come up here and learn from us. You want to learn about contact mapping, you want to learn about network marketing. And he was in a company called Manatech, and he hadn't done well at it because he'd never been able to really get started. It wasn't that he didn't love Manatech, he still uses a Manatech coffee cup. And irritates the heck out of me. And so then he just started hanging around, and we didn't recruit him. He recruited himself into longevity. And the first person that said he wanted to learn how to present this thing was this guy right here. When we talked about presentation schools, he wanted to learn it. So I handed him the slides, and I said, start going through these slides and tell me how to do this presentation. And he practiced it over and over and over again. So do the first 3 slides.
Hold on. I don't want to screw it up.
You nervous?
Oh, no.
Not at all.
I can't see.
Oh, you don't have your glasses. Don't do it without slides.
You know, Tom, we talked about it. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired of it.
Yep.
I was like that for 19 years.
Yeah.
And now I figured out, except just having satisfaction, I could use this multi-level marketing for get paid. So, you know,
Go sit down. Okay, sit down, go sit down, that's good. We did a thing about this, that's exactly what I wanted you to do. So you saw him going from his head, he stood up, he goes, how you doing? He warmed up, he fell in love with him instantly. And then he started thinking about what he was gonna say next in his mouth, just filled with mush. That's why we give him the look, and he's smiling from ear to ear. He's the most adorable guy. But here's a guy you are going to fall in love with if we can get him out of his head, into his heart, and have this be a muscle where he's delivering this presentation, not from a bunch of slides. We want to deliver it from what the slides say, but anybody can read slides poorly. Very few people can stay out of their heart and be with the person. I am, you two have been just terrific right here in the front row, Ronnie. And it's, do you feel like I'm just talking to you? Do you feel like it's a speech, or do you feel like I'm like talking to you?
Like you're talking to.
That's what you have to do, because this is a people business. It's all about people. And the person with the best communication relationship skills wins. Why do you think I keep hammering you on the contact mapping app? Because I want you to have the information about the human being across the table no one else has, so you can ask them about that. Because what you love most about me is what I remember about you. It's that simple. And that's every human being. Be more human. This is not join with a click and hang up with a click. Linda McCormick is unbelievably successful at this business because she cares about people. She's not afraid to walk up to people. And she's given the track. She came down. We put it on paper where she's going with her business, so she knows the track. But the track is to know it better than anything, but not let people know that you know it better than anything. So it comes out of your mouth so authentically because you're thinking about them instead of thinking about it. Chad lost it when he started thinking about it. Make sense? So cool. So we're going to have a little rock star come up here. Her name's Juliet Vardulis. We talked so long at the last presentation. She worked day and night, night and day, midnight to midnight on a presentation, and we talked right past it, but she didn't get to do it. So this week she's going to do it, and it is going to be unbelievable. She's an ambassador in longevity. She's got 3 beautiful